And good afternoon. Oh, see, I was shaking my head and then my hair started doing crazy things back there. Good afternoon. I am Jay. Wow, it really looks crazy. Okay, I'm sorry. The League of Excellent Extraordinary Negroes here this Sunday afternoon to talk about The Harder They Fall. I'm Jade.
I'm Carla Stillwell.
And I'm Marcus.
All right, question of the day. What is the question of the day?
Oh, there's a question of the day. Ooh, look at the new graphic.
I love it so much. The font is so dope.
How have you
Mm-hmm.
been? It has been a long time since we chatted in this way. How have you been?
It's a good question.
Busy, um, and happy. Good busy. I did
I
have to
know.
kill a spider the size of my hand today. In my home.
No, no,
It was a creature.
no,
I
no.
could see its hair.
Excuse me.
I could see its
No,
hair. I could see the fur on
did
it.
did you move to Australia or to Texas? Where are the
I
spiders? The size
I
of your
don't know.
hand.
They
I
can
don't
get
know where
big.
this creature came from,
Were you
but it's
feeding it?
gone. But listen, I don't know where it had been, but you know where it is now with the Lord.
I mean,
Wherever
that's so big.
spiders
You
go.
might need weapons. You can't just get a fly swatter out for that. You're gonna need to like get a shoe
It it
or
it it,
like
it
a
there were multiple weapons
you got
to
a
be
you got a
employed.
pickleball paddle, just like
Oh my God.
So that's how I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm really good because I didn't have to do that.
Oh
I just
Well,
been home.
I know that there were some very happy people after AfroCon. Um, I heard a lot of comments about Miss Carla Stillwell and the history of Black Joy.
God.
Mm.
Yeah, there was lots of comments about that. People
I
going
had
back and
fun.
yeah. hmm It was good. It was good.
Mhm.
And Marcus, we're gonna play some games soon
Oh, good.
because I have to brush up and get better
Mm.
because Macy came over yesterday and we played several games and she won every round of every game that we played and I wasn't like just being nice and letting her win. I was trying to actively win.
I'm gonna give you an out. Were you actively teaching those games as well?
Yes.
That generally will mess with your win percentage. It's
Well,
harder to win
Mm.
the game when you're also teaching it.
Ah.
okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better. Not a lot, because she's
Wait,
also
wait.
not a
How
gracious
old is
winner.
this? How
She's
old is your
11.
opponent here?
She's 11.
Ooh,
You
that's
got
tough.
whooped by a
That's tough.
preteen.
I know. But she generally does beat me in a lot of things because when she was very little and she we would play games and there were certain times where she would say, "Can you just let me win this time?" And it's like, "No. You
That's
have
not
to
how it works.
earn it. You have to earn it because her daddy would let her win. But my daddy lets me win. No, your daddy's doing it wrong.
Hmm.
So this is a monster that I have also created. So anyway, we are here to talk about the harder they fall.
Mm.
Let's see. Directed by James Samuels, co-wrote the screenplay with Boaz Yakin, starring too many people to name in one breath.
Oh my God. When you talk
You
about
have to.
somebody that just went around and was like, I'm getting everybody I
Right,
want for
right.
this. Everybody.
What is the brief summary? It is a classic western that focuses on a black story that was sometimes really hard because who do you root for?
You're not wrong. There
And
was
this
a lot
and this
happening.
is what we deserve. This
Right.
and that is what we that is what that this movie is what equity in film looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
deserve to have black villains.
okay, so spoilers ahead. We're going to be spoiling this if you have not seen it. It's been on Netflix for what, 4 days? um,
So we're not exactly being fair, but you
well,
came here. It's look.
I
You hit
mean,
play, or YouTube just let this play
I,
for
I
you.
I have been able to watch it twice, so I have no sympathy for someone who hasn't gotten through it once. I don't.
I
Spoilers.
I have seen it twice as well,
I've
and
only
just
seen it the
stopped
once.
myself from seeing it the third time. Okay, so oh, I got to think for that. Hold on, I got to think for that. We got a couple new things. Um, oh, the Rotten Tomato score. So IMDb rates it at 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes is 86%.
Okay.
That's not bad. And now, what did we like? In no particular order of who goes when. What did you like?
There's so much that I like. Very, very little. I don't know if there's anything that I did not like.
I
I
had a couple of things.
appreciated the story. Most of all, I appreciated the story. I liked the way that it was written. I love that soundtrack.
Yes.
Amazing soundtrack. I
Um,
do have
it,
acting notes that bothered me. It was a couple of
Ooh. Wait a minute, because I thought the performances were really good.
well, we'll
no,
hold those
But
notes
we'll
for
yeah,
the
get to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
criticisms. Yeah, hold that for the criticisms.
But
It just
I
occurred
I
to me in this
loved
moment. I was like, okay, sorry.
I loved the train scene. I what didn't I loved the bank robbery. Uh, what didn't I? There was a lot of good stuff.
A lot of,
It was
lot of nuggets.
just the shootout at the end. Yeah, there's a lot. I do
It,
have to say, like right off jump, you're like it grabs you by the throat and like you're gonna watch this movie,
yeah,
and then
I,
you get that first hit of revenge before the title even hits, and I'm like, yes, thank you, because y'all need to get them. You need to get them all like Pokemon. You got. I want revenge now.
it,
I want
it
revenge against the
was,
producer for making me watch that. Oh no.
it was a
That,
western.
woo.
It was a western with a simple story. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
gotta die. Somebody gotta die.
But it was definitely
Don't get in my
modern
way.
And it was
sensibilities
all
in the way it was
earned.
shot.
It was all earned. All the death, every death was earned. I, there were no throwaway dead bodies. There was
Right.
no like everybody's story ended the way it was supposed to. So
Yeah.
good. So much
And
blood.
and in that first scene where the person that you don't see, which is Idris, comes into the
Mm,
house and he sits in front of that nice brown chicken
mm.
and then kills the mother. I was like, I stopped it. I said, "Oh, I have to be in a different because we're really going to do this."
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we do things and it's just like we're going to dip our toes into this genre or whatever. No, this we're really going to do a western, and it's going to be a western. People are going to die that are innocent. That did just wrong place, wrong time, wrong life.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing I've realized I was not gonna love about this. Like, there's gonna be all these black actors I love, and then there's gonna be a lot of Western style deaths happening to them, and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see that, but I'll watch it.
You
I'll watch it.
my post I posted on Facebook this afternoon that this is the movie that Quentin Tarantino has been trying to make for 30 years. James
Ooh.
Samuel came around and made Quentin Tarantino's movie. He's like, baby, let me show you how to do this and take all the misogyny, homophobia, and racism out of it. See how I'm gonna do that? See how I'm gonna show you how to make your movie?
Well, and I didn't know who James Samuels was, but I suspected that he was a man of color because his name is spelled Jeymes. So it was like, he's probably black. And he does music.
Yes,
He's a musician, music producer. He hasn't
yes.
done many television shows, movies, or lots of things. He has not done lots of things.
He has
And
been sitting
frankly, I
on
don't
this
know,
project for 10 years.
how do you
Ba-
get this project if you weren't a person of color with all of these actors?
well, and
It'd be tough.
he's been sitting on this. He's been working on this project for 10 years. He did a project with Jay-Z musically, and this is
Hmm.
why Sean Carter
Mm-hmm.
um, helped him get this off the ground. I suspect that's why all of these
Mm-hmm.
actors came to the table. And he knew Idris from London. I believe he's African Brit.
Yes. Yes.
And him and people forget Idris is a DJ. So
Yes.
he
Yes.
he had gone to Idris
Hmm.
years ago. And Idris was like, whenever you get it together, I'm there. I'm gonna do it.
And okay, so Tony Bagels, he's related to Seal. That's a good relative to have. But
Yeah.
he did do another movie. I guess it's considered a full length movie, and it is a
Hmm.
western. I don't know. I didn't finish watching it honestly because it was just so slow. So I can see some growth from that project to this one, and that one was maybe 6 or 8 years ago that he did, and it was a
It's
western, and there
2013.
were, and it was
Something
a
about die or something. Some people, something in the title. What's
right.
that
They
title?
gotta die or die today, something with die in it,
They
and
die
there are a
by
lot of
dawn.
yes,
Yes,
and
that's
there are a
Yeah,
lot of
okay.
stars in that,
Hmm.
and he reuses a lot of the names that we hear for characters in The
Oh
Harder They
wow.
Fall.
hmm
So this is something
Wow.
that it's been in his mind and his heart for a long time.
No, I read an interview. He said he started thinking about this, working on this 10 years ago. And
So,
he really, really envisioned it. He scored the whole thing himself.
Yeah, yeah, you could do that. And it's interesting that Jay Z is titled his government name on
Yeah.
this project.
Oh, yeah. You know, Sean Carter has taught us a lot about moving once you make real money.
Hmm.
Jay-Z still goes on stage. Sean Carter writes
Right,
checks.
right, right. And there were a lot of checks to be written for this particular movie.
Whew. Can can we take a moment to talk about? I was just about to.
Yeah, I read your mind. I read your
Can
mind.
we can we just take a minute right here with her?
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, she gets badder and more badder and exposes her badassery
Regina
with.
King is a superhero.
Ooh,
yeah, I loved her in this movie. I love the whole Rufus gang in this movie, like more than the good guys. Just like just a little bit. Just
it
a
was
little
so
bit.
hard. It was so hard. They were the best villains ever. Lakeith,
Oh,
Lakeith,
Lakeith was so good.
it was so good. And
Talking to that man behind the door in the train, like, hey,
listen,
it is
but
what it is. You can shoot through the door if you want to. You ain't gonna hit nothing but your boy. Oh man, that's rough too. Mm.
The key
Man.
was so
Oh,
good. You know who else
there.
is really good? Dion
Who?
Cole.
And you know, he looked like a completely different person after he got beat up. He didn't look like the same person at all. Like whoever did the makeup, he looked like he got beat up for real.
His face was consistently swollen after that. There was
Hmm.
nothing.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Oh,
Really great performance.
Okay.
Really great performance. Oh,
So Idris is
ah.
playing. Okay, so I do have notes. Rufus
Rufus
Black.
Buck. Buck.
Rufus
mm-hmm.
Buck. Rufus Buck is a real person,
Mm-hmm.
but this and this is the thing that I appreciate and that I liked about this story. It uses the names of real black people, but does
Mm-hmm.
not hold on to any of their actual story. It's like I just want you to know that these people's names, go look it up. Like just go
Yeah.
look it up. But I'm not telling you really anything about these people because the Rufus
You might
Buck
get 30% of their character
and
in the
and with this
characterization, but
character,
that's it.
probably
If
not even that much.
Mm.
Because Rufus
because
Buck was 21 when he was hung for all the stuff that he
Mm.
actually did.
his whole crew got hung. Nobody was over 21.
Yeah.
They
Mm.
hung the
And
whole crew.
he was kind of radical.
Can I take one moment to talk about online trolls and armchair critics and people who have irritated me on these last few days?
Oh Lord. Who did what?
So it's been two tracks of negativity about this. Um, the first is, well, I mean, those weren't who those characters really were. Nobody ever said they were.
No.
The man never said this was a historical piece.
No.
I think it says it on screen.
It goes
This
out
is
the way, right?
like
The first thing it says. Yeah.
like it. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, people are real mad about Stagecoach Mary.
You know what?
But
Okay.
why?
So
Okay,
because
so
she looks very different than the actual Stagecoach Mary. But she's not playing Stagecoach Mary, the real person,
no,
at all.
no.
It's just her name.
I just want to say, if y'all make a movie about me, please hire someone better looking to play me. I want the glow up. That's all I'm saying.
Uh, but
The-
one of the critiques is not even that she look. It. Let's be specific. There's a colorism conversation going
Right,
on.
right,
But when we talk about Charity Bill, this is a man that didn't even not at all black
right.
in real life.
Okay. Let me see if I
Um,
can see my
they
little.
they say that he passed. Yeah. So this man, James Samuel, did not hold on to any of this. He intentionally cast all hues of people
Hmm.
because he is and he talks about this. He is an African Brit. He's very
Hmm.
dark complected man, and he's like, I'm not casting type. I'm casting who I want to cast to play these characters that are
Right,
fictional that I created for my story.
right.
So we got to step with people. Sometimes we gotta do a little research before we decide this man just loved light skinned women, because
And
that's what
it's
that
not,
was.
and it's not like all the other women are light skinned women either. And so we have to let the light skinned women play. They gotta
I
have
Honey,
mean,
characters too.
there was a whole blue bra in the thing.
all I know is I'm hearing them complaining,
Mystique
but
was
what y'all
there.
complaining about is a finished movie that black people got paid to make. So complain all you want.
that
A
Black people
lot.
created, paid for,
Hmm.
got paid, and will continue to thrive because of.
Right.
Let's talk about what Black art really is and follow
Hmm.
the money. This is a Black film.
Okay, I already showed the key, but look, he you know, his
Oh,
He's so
he
good.
can do
he,
so many things,
he's so good and so underrated. He doesn't work enough for me. He doesn't work enough for me.
and he's
He
all
stole.
of his characters have have one thing in common: a high level of intellect and education. Like he's not. I
To tell the truth, he's in this movie, but he's not like a huge part of it. But he steals every single scene he's in.
He chews up
it's
the scenery in the best way possible. He
he
eats it up
does,
in the best
he
way
does.
possible. That's the other critique that's been online, you guys.
What?
The accents weren't authentic.
But
What
I,
nobody in the West from the West. Do you
right?
understand? These
What time?
Black people, yes, yes, okay, because this is the part that y'all don't know. I like you got you know I gotta get a little history in. This was called Indian Territory. These were
Right?
not states at this time. These were
Yeah.
Black people, and there were large Black towns in the West, all over the territory. And they
Hmm.
came from all over because
Right.
most of them were escaped slaves. So, what
Exactly.
accent are we talking about?
Right.
Really? None of those people were from anywhere,
Yeah.
they
I
were
mean,
from
what you're going to
everywhere.
hear from more than anything is a Southern accent or a Texas drawl.
I just.
And and Tree Smith, that character clearly was some kind of Creole, some kind of, you know, like
I'm just.
they picked, there were choices made, but the choice
Mm.
was not for them. It would not have been authentic if they all sounded like they were from Mississippi. Is that what I
Right.
I'm,
want?
I'm
Is that what you
Right.
want?
I'm confused as to who's looking for historical accuracy in a movie where they pull into a white town and the entire town is painted white. I just you have
Every
you are
wall
asking
in the
for a lot.
bank is white.
I laughed so hard when
In
that scene
in the
started.
parenthetical,
I didn't
and
need the
then
parentheticals. I understood exactly what they were doing the exact moment it showed up.
I did too. But when they just stated it first, when they said this is a white town, I
Right.
was done. I was done.
Oh, I'm
And it
watching this
was
movie by myself in my basement on my theater screen, and I'm laughing so hard. I'm sure the neighbors thought something went wrong.
Honey, this is a white
okay.
town. It's,
All right. How did he do? How did he do?
mm,
He's so good.
so good.
I,
And he's playing a character that people would probably be the most familiar with. And he's
Hmm.
not playing that's not Nat Love.
No,
Like that's not the real Nat Love. That real Nat Love is a cowboy.
well, there's a lot of horses in this movie, and there's a lot of horse riding in this movie. I don't know what
Ah,
else you're looking
that's
for.
not what a cowboy is.
There was a train robbery.
That's not what a cowboy is.
It's a
no.
western movie. None of. What are you looking for out of your cowboys?
I
Um,
just
horse
so many
dog,
nuggets. So many
Uh,
nuggets.
cattle drives and beans.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh God, such well-rounded women. Such
it
Okay.
did
well-written
put me
women.
back in the mind of Lovecraft Country. We're like, ah,
Oh,
he's back. But
He's
much
good
more
though.
enjoyable character.
Yeah,
Much
this
more
was
enjoyable
good.
character.
This was good
Oh
for
my
him.
goodness.
yeah.
Um, this was a surprise. I don't really know the actress. Um,
What
I think
is
she's
her?
new. I think
Danielle
she's
that
Deadweiler.
yes, and she's playing Cuffy, who is
yes.
Cafe Williams. When they said it, I was like, "Go ahead and teach the people a name to go
Mm.
look up," because that's not who Cafe was.
I'll have to look him in the thing.
But Cathay Williams was in real life a woman who, I don't remember if it was at the end of the Civil War, but she was definitely trying to be one of the Buffalo, well, we call them Buffalo Soldiers now, but that's not what they call themselves. But she dressed like a man and enlisted in the army. She got ill, and that's when they discovered that she was not a man.
They're like, what in the Mulan hell is this? No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the same story. It's the same story. She is Mulan. She's our black Mulan. But I appreciated that. Throw a name out there. I don't know what it is about this guy. Every time I see him, I only think about that X-Men movie. And
because that X-Men movie is still upsetting.
When he died,
the character literally cannot die. That's the character.
Right.
And they killed him in the first 35 seconds or some stuff like that.
Man,
he introduces himself long enough to get killed. That's
Eddie
I was
Gathegi.
like the worst.
The
worst. The worst.
And then, let's see. This young boy. Where does young boy come from?
Cute. He was so cute.
R.J. Seiler as Jim Beckworth. When Cuffy said, "I'd rather ride into a battle with a dark horse than a golden stallion," I was like, he was like,
he said, "What does that mean?"
Get shot. Best line.
Yeah, but again, when I think things are written well and with intention, these are characters that we don't usually get because Black art has been so focused on respectability and being a certain type of way for white acceptance that we just haven't had. We don't get the useful idiot.
Right.
We don't get that character. He's funny. He was hilarious. He was shooting people. He was and that scene with her at the top, the red hat guy.
The ambush. Yes.
Right. Ambush. And he was like, "What's all this talking you doing?"
And it was one of the Wayans sons. One of the Wayans sons. I was like, they got a Wayans in there. They got everybody. You got a Wayans, you got everybody.
Oh my God, that was such a good scene.
I think casually killing people.
I appreciated that there was this, ooh, I want to root for them, but wait a minute, no, you're still doing really bad things. And I
don't want to root for them. I don't want to root for them. But like, ooh, I enjoy watching you. I enjoy watching you do these things.
But at no point was this about something against or having to deal with race and whiteness and overcoming that.
No,
that wasn't a fact. Even when they robbed the white town and they came in, and like I thought that they were going to make it that a bigger thing with the men that came in, but no, they just shot them and that was over.
It was about the fact the town had money. That's it. It's like, you need money from somewhere, man.
And he was charismatic, and they gave him the money.
And do you see how clever writing can be when you're not throwing in gratuitous N-words and homophobic slurs? Like, she's just like, "Oh, honey, you should just go to the one town, Redwood. Yeah, the black town." Like, and we already knew that we knew exactly what she was saying without it being said.
Right.
You possibly have an account here.
Right.
It's truly, utterly laughable. Why are you here?
And they laugh.
Right.
When she's
first time in the back.
When she's trying to get that gun from under the skirt, I almost fell out. I was like, "Sis, they handicapped my girl. Oh Lord,
yeah,
they handicapped my coffee."
And in any other movie, that would have turned the whole scenario into something else. and the white folks would have grabbed them, and then that's a whole nother. We got to go get our people from the white jail, but no, no. He
It's
told that
this,
man
it's this,
exhale.
and it's
That's it.
this radical thought that there were black people that had agency. Like
Right.
this was not new. This is not. This
Mm-mm.
is new. This is new to the way we think, the way we've been
Hmm.
taught history. But the
Right.
truth is, there were whole black towns where black people owned everything. And then
Hmm.
when there are black roads, there are black villages.
Exactly. Yep.
And that
And
just means we are human beings with agency.
and this is the period right after slavery. So whether it's set, and it doesn't really say when it is set, we just kind of know a time period. But
Mm-hmm.
whether it's immediately in the era of Reconstruction or right after, you have black people that are doing amazing things and making lots of money. That's how they're able to move and create these towns for themselves. They don't all last because they are dealing with other outside forces that don't like the fact that they are doing so well and prospering. But prospering they were.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's the history.
it is a story that is fictional, but the historical context is not fictional.
Right. So, what could have been better? What are the criticisms?
I don't know. I mean, I liked everything. The costuming was fantastic. The
Oh, the
movie looked
costuming was
amazing.
amazing. Oh, the lighting, the set design, everything about it was the Jay Z money, basically.
It was a
It was
lush.
real money.
It's
It was
just
It
real money.
was.
They
It
put
was
some real
lush.
money into that.
They
Um,
did.
uh, it was beautifully shot. Everything
It
about it was
was.
gorgeous. That had a big ticket. Um,
The vibrancy of the color in their
mhm,
clothing.
mhm.
We're supposed to be talking about criticism, but I love that.
trying.
I
I,
know.
I have
Because
one critique, one.
but I appreciated that because we tend to color this time period with a haze and of gray because of pictures. But
Hmm.
they, I mean, they had dye to
Hit
color
paint.
things. So yes,
Even
Regina
even during
King's
stage,
coat
he
would have been that navy because she took that from some officer.
I
That was
mean,
a navy
you
military
really
coat.
appreciated how saturated the colors were when they went to the white town and there was nothing. You're just like, oh, yeah, I guess this picture really is
this is a
very
white
colorful.
town.
This is
Um,
the one.
Zazie, what's the girl? What's her
Zazie
name?
Zazie.
Beats.
Hmm.
I'm not. That's my critique.
I think
It could have been somebody else.
it could have. I didn't. I appreciate that she. I appreciate her as an actress always choosing roles and choosing to wear her hair in a natural state. Don't tame my hair. I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. But the song with the gun, I didn't like that. I didn't like
You
the
didn't like
song.
that?
No, I didn't
Uh,
like that. In the
it.
saloon.
I just. It's just one of those things that men do to female characters to soften
Mm.
them. And they made a. I suspect there's a choice to soften her since she has a love story. But the
Hmm.
love story was going to be what could have stood on its own without us understanding her as a woman.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's what I suspect.
I just feel like they had to put in a song in a saloon because it's a western. They
But
could have gave it to somebody else, but they gave it
you
to
know,
her.
listen. That is literally the only thing, and I think she did a
Who you
bad
gonna?
job. I just,
But
That would be the thing. The thing.
I would say her plan to go into Rufus's town and buy the. That was just the cockamamiest plan. I just enjoyed that they let her get in front of him and start trying to articulate that plan. You could just see on her face, this was a dumb plan. They're not buying it. Oh my God, why did I think this would work? I'm trying to get through it. I'm gonna get through it.
Like you could.
I'm a buy this.
Fear was palpable. Her fear was palpable. Like she knew she messed up.
It was almost a relief when they told her, like, we ain't buying it. Go ahead.
It was. We already. Oh, one more good thing. That damn Regina King and that story and that apple. My God. My God, today. The acting. And
you just like
about cinematography. That the shots are peeling that damn apple.
And it took her a long time to peel that apple. Like, you were still peeling that apple.
But then you get done with that story and you're like, she let her daddy beat her for that? And she didn't say nothing. Just like, okay.
And I had cut that girl whole head off.
Trudy was bad. She was bad.
Oh, they had a really good fight though. Stagecoach Mary and Trudy Smith had one of the greatest fights.
At the end when she screams, I felt that. Like, because they were fighting to the death.
Oh yeah.
Except she made it out. Are they trying to push a sequel? She made it out. You see her with her hat.
There will be no sequel. If you try to do a sequel to this, it will be.
That's a good question.
And so here's the crazy sickness of it. How many apples? They all have to be the same color. They all have to be the same size. So however many apples it was somebody's job to line up 20 apples that all looked alike.
Right.
Some poor assistant had to sit around and they had to light each apple. They had to light the apples together. That apple shit turned into a thing on set.
Yeah. Now, Shamari has another comment. Now, is that confirmed? That sequel?
Oh,
I haven't looked.
Is that real?
I hope they don't.
Why not?
Well, they can tell more story.
It depends on how they tell it. Like, it depends on where they go with it. Sometimes
most of the people are dead.
Yeah,
I will follow Regina King anywhere she wants to be.
Well, because we didn't prove
like
that she was dead.
Oh no, she's standing there then. You don't see her face, but you see her you see her hat.
Yeah, she's alive. But
she's alive.
Oh, Regina.
And there's only a few people that are still alive. So
there was a big old body count. It was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't have very many criticisms. Which is refreshing.
Look, I could have used a warning up at the top. It's going to be real violent, but they let you know pretty soon.
Oh, real quick. Yeah.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm. I think I might have been eating when I started, and I was, oh no, I can't. I don't know how violent this is going to be, but I can't.
New frame of mind.
I can't.
See, y'all know I was sitting in the middle of the bed with cookies. I was like, oh yeah. I had Oreos and almond milk. I was like, oh snap. Oh, they just shoot buses in the head. Oh, here we go.
Anybody else that we have not talked about? Any questions from?
Oh, Delroy.
Oh, how could I forget?
We got to talk about Uncle Delroy.
Okay, I can't see. Yeah, there he is.
playing
the
Bass
the
Reeves.
one character in the movie that is close to his
Mm-hmm.
actual character. He's the only one.
Well, I mean, how could you not? It's Bass Reeves.
It's Bass Reeves.
Mm. My God, that
The real
man has
story is
been.
better than anything you can make up. So.
I went and I was reading a bunch of the real stories. I'm like, do y'all understand these people? Most of the names they dropped, those people have been born into slavery. Like these
Hmm.
were freed men and women.
Or self-emancipated men and women.
Like,
But Delroy, I just like watching him tell a story. And it's something about the way that he phrases things, and there's no straight line. It's like he comes in and out. I don't, I, with his tone and the texture of what he's saying. I just love the way that he tells a story.
You know what it is? Him, Idris, and Lakeith have a similar cool. Like they're very even actors. So their tone is even. So any inflection, it's so much richer because they're not frenetic.
Hmm. Hmm.
Delroy is very, very clean. There, I do have one more thing I need to say about Idris Elba, other than he's fine. I don't know if I said that, but it's true. I realized something on my second watch of this. Why Idris is one of the only black Brits that does not irritate me.
that's a whole
I
story I'm
was
going to have to
like,
get into later.
I was like, he doesn't irritate me playing an American black person. Why? Because the
Hmm.
other ones do. And I'm like, but so why doesn't he? And I came to this. I think it's a class issue. I think
Uh-oh.
We
What
lost her.
happened?
We lost her entirely. I didn't do it. I
Chiwetel
can't do it. I don't have a control.
Ejiofor took her out of the picture. We will wait until Carla comes back with that comment because she, I mean, Chiwetel just came in
She
real
just
quick.
dropped.
There she is. There she is. I
what
said
happened?
Chiwetel. I
We
said
don't
Chiwetel
know.
Ejiofor came and knocked you out the stream.
Probably. You can. Bye. I
Oh.
said what I said. It's a class issue. Idris was not from, he's from a lower class. From working class black folk. And I believe working class black folk are working class black folk all over the diaspora. And
Mhm.
there's like he didn't study at Cambridge, my good brother. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't he's not affected in that way. So he's more
Right.
authentic.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just
So
very hard to fake the experience of American racism. If you haven't grown up with it, you can't just
mhm,
embody it. It comes off false.
And
mhm.
actually, Delroy is a black Brit.
I forget he's a Brit.
He actually is.
He unbritified himself so long ago.
Uh, like
He went through the whole debritification process many
he
moons ago.
did, because I don't even hear it in his voice anymore. It's just like that isn't. I don't even think about it, but he actually is a black Brit.
Girl, you know, Lord, well down there too. That don't irritate me.
But I
Wow.
think it's also
I said
that
what I said. I said, like, don't get me started about that girl playing Aretha. Don't get me started. It's
That
you
Sunday.
don't have
just
to
look.
I
tell
just
me.
The
brought
only
up
problem
old
with that
mess.
is
I just
Aretha
brought up
said who
old
she
mess.
wanted, and y'all didn't pay attention. So
I don't know what
that's on
that
you. Enjoy that.
was.
I like this.
I don't.
That right there is you made your own bed, and that's where you're gonna be sleeping tonight. So enjoy that. Just, it's not my fault. It's got sticks in it.
Right. Shamari points out the hats.
Mhm.
The
That
hats.
costuming was fabulous.
It was amazing.
It was.
Just a visual
And
delight.
and
This
that
whole show.
stovepipe was high on her head. It was a tall stovepipe hat. And she riding a horse. I was like, how they get that hat to stay on her head?
They pinned that thing down. That thing
The
was
power
pinned.
of storytelling.
They pinned that thing down. I'm telling you, people don't know how many people it takes to make a film. It was somebody's job to secure that thing on that front.
Right.
Somebody was responsible for hat securation on the afro. Yes,
And there
it
were
was.
probably more than a few of those hats. One for sitting, one for standing, one for riding. Okay. I think, well, we didn't find too many criticisms.
Wow,
What
that's
is
great.
your score?
Mm.
Start
I'm
with
gonna have to
Marcus.
give it a 4. I'm gonna have to give it a 4. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, but it's being held down by the fact it is a western. The genre does not do it for me. Just
Oh,
I don't
Marcus.
care about westerns, and the grand majority of them are just, I don't know how white people lie to themselves about how great they are.
That's a whole other show.
It is. It was not this show, but it's still, it uses a lot of the same tropes and just puts you
Mm-hmm.
in that mindset. This is a western. I enjoyed what they
It's
did
done.
with this. I really needed Idris to die. The whole movie. I'm like,
Man,
get him!
we
Oh,
didn't
he was
even
so
talk about
ruthless.
we didn't
He
even
was
talk
so
about the
ruthless.
twist at the end.
He was so ruthless the entire movie. You're just like, oh, get him. Somebody get him. How can you get him?
And
I
he
wanted his
set up
gang to
that
turn on him.
whole fight.
That's what I wanted.
You
I
see, he didn't
wanted
come
his.
out. He didn't come out of that
Hmm,
house. He stayed in
that's
there the whole fight.
that's what we got people for. They're supposed to handle it. That's and frankly, they're good enough to handle it almost all the time. They just
Oh,
took out a
This,
whole train car full of soldiers. All he did
yeah.
was walk through it. Beautiful shot, by the way.
Oh
Beautiful
my
shot.
God. Oh my God.
in
Can
between
any
the
of y'all?
shooting.
Can any of y'all drive a train?
Everybody but him. That little boy was up there shaking. He didn't know how to drive that train. He lied. He was like, I'm gonna
He
figure it out. I'm gonna
right,
figure it out.
right. I felt that as well. Like he knew these people. Y'all about to die. I know how to drive a train. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
so good.
Carla, what was your score?
Oh, I give this a 5. And I despise westerns. But
Oh man.
I don't like the genre either. I was scarred by too many episodes of Bonanza growing up. But
Gunsmoke.
I love me some violence, and I love me a good old shootout, and I like a good fist fight. It was enough blood and guts for me, and I like a revenge story, and that's why this works. It was a really good revenge story. They could have said
Mhm.
it anywhere.
Right.
So I give this one a 5, a whole 5.
I also give it a 5, and I love westerns.
How?
Really?
I mean, Marcus, Star Trek is nothing but a space western.
It's a little bit more than that, but yes, it is definitely
It's a
based
space
there.
western. Yeah, but no,
But yeah.
I love westerns. I don't know, maybe because of my grandfather. My grandfather always talked about his family, and that's a whole other story. But he loved cowboys, and he loved westerns, and most of my family we watched. I mean, it's what was on the TV. I didn't have control. I was the
Right.
youngest. I didn't have control. My dad liked westerns. It was on. I can't change the channel.
Right.
So that was a part of it. But I really do love westerns. I think my favorite, more current western is probably 310 to Yuma. Love that movie. If I could find it right now for free, I would be. Might as well just buy it because I love 310 to Yuma with dog Batman and Superman's dad. You know who I'm talking about,
I don't. I'm checking.
though. Yeah, Batman.
Oh, I'm just saying I have not like watched it. Is it Russell Crowe you're talking about?
Yes, Superman's
I love
dad.
Russell Crowe.
I I love him in 310 to Yuma,
Uh,
and he's the bad guy. Oh my god! And you root for the bad guy in 310 to Yuma. Anyway, so yes, no, I
mm,
love westerns, and I loved this because it was just a western. It followed all of the tropes, all of the
mm-hmm.
things were there. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't campy, it wasn't overdone. The the night scenes were lit.
You could see the black people.
I know.
You could
I mean,
see the black people.
it's not that it's harder work, but for some reason, it's specialized work to just have black people in the scene and be able to see them at night. I don't know why, but it
Yes,
is.
but those night scenes were beautifully done. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I give it a
See the
5.
black people.
Somebody asked us about the twist at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Buck brothers plot twist at the end?
Ah, it made the revenge less sweet, and it's just like, oh,
It
you
undermined the
still need to
revenge
kill
for
him.
you.
You still need to kill him.
Well, I think it deepened the revenge. Like,
Mm,
I realize you are now my brother. I believe you are telling the truth, but I still
hmm
gotta kill you, man.
Yeah,
Like it made the revenge more textured to me.
right. It
And I
also
love the way
added
he
more.
cared for his body at the end. I love the way he
Yeah.
cared for his body.
hmm It added more dimension to Idris's character for me because they
hmm
realized, well, he really never did lay a hand on him, and maybe he didn't intend to kill him.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he did. He did everything he meant to do.
Well, he said he couldn't kill his brother, and he knew that
Oh,
that's who he was.
He wasn't gonna. That's why he cut into his head. He wasn't gonna kill him, but he ruined that man's life. He spent the last 20 years killing everybody,
But he says
and he said that's
that was
part
the
of his
revenge.
revenge.
Right.
And you're just like,
Yeah,
and like I played
he's
into your
mad after
hands.
that.
My whole life is a joke. I still have to kill you. It's just like he could have gotten all that same stuff that he didn't have to kill the man's wife, which was that child's mother, directly in front of him, and then you didn't even tell him why. You just let him sit with that for 20 years. I'm just like,
Right,
oh,
right.
I kill you
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
I kill you
That's what
again and go
made
to
him a
sleep
villain.
happy.
That's what made him a villain.
You so it's just such
Unredeemable.
I did not like the twist. I understand it narratively that it makes sense,
Mhm.
but I just like because then what do you do with the Nat Love? How is he supposed to have a peaceful day after that?
Never. Never.
He ain't going home and kicking his boots off and being happy. He's just gonna be like, I've been played, and I
Hmm.
don't know what to do about it. I'm still angry.
But he closed the story.
He closed the story, but he doesn't have peace. That's the thing he needed to have his peace.
Well,
Mm.
but he did have an understanding, and that
Hmm.
could be the piece. Because he spent 20 years not knowing why this man killed his father. Now he knows.
But like, yeah, Could have
I
let the
loved
man's
it.
family go. The
It
whole
was
time.
good for me because I didn't see it coming until he started telling the story.
Uh huh. And then
And
when you
when I
did
watched
grasp
it,
it, you're like, oh, I'll kill
and then when I watched it the second time, I paid closer attention to the conversation with the father, because when they or when him and Jesus, he called him Jesus.
He,
Um,
yes,
you.
he did.
when him and Jesus showed up at the house, I paid that conversation was different. It
Hmm.
set different after knowing the story. So well done.
Yeah,
The foreshadowing was very well done.
it was. Yes. Um, Again, when Bass Reeves' character Delroy, and he says, "Y'all all gonna die." What you think? What you think, old man? I think y'all all gonna die.
Yeah, well, also,
Not
how close
we,
did you get? How
y'all.
close did you get on predicting which characters would die versus which ones actually did die when you watched it? Because I did pretty good.
I
I
know. I thought that they were all going to die.
Mm.
So anybody that lived was a shock to me. I was like, oh,
yeah,
you made it out. Come on. So
yeah. I
now,
figured that Nat Love's character was going to live at the end, but that's
hmm
the only one that I was willing to bet on because in a western,
Yeah, all bets are off, but I figured Zazie Beet's character was going to be fine. But I
but
knew
you
both those
know,
gun hands were dead. Just like, no,
it's
no,
the
this ain't
one
my
on
story.
one.
Goodbye.
It was the one-on-one matchups where I was pretty good. I was like, oh, Cherokee Bill and this little boy. Cherokee's gonna shoot this boy in the head, and he did. I was
he
like,
did.
okay. So
He
you know,
always was going to do that. That was happening.
like that was gonna happen. Like I'm going to shoot you. Wait for it.
I did enjoy when he just walked off in the middle of him trying to have a shootout. It's like,
He
yeah,
was like,
I
I'm going to
dinner
have a
or
drink.
something. I'm
I'm going
busy.
to have it.
I hate
Come
it
back when you're
when they
smarter.
count slow. I hate it when they count
When they
slow.
count slow.
Just the little things that he said that were just throwaway, just under his
Look,
breath kind of things.
when they got on
Oh,
that train and he was like, I don't much care for violence, but I'm with a bunch of people who do. So
you are among violent people.
people. So
Oh, are
y'all
you the
can,
hero?
oh, you're
You're
the
the hero,
hero.
huh?
Oh,
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 you're the
okay.
hero.
There's always
uh,
one. How come a scout?
Oh man.
Ricky.
Oh yeah.
So good.
And then he carved that man like Thanksgiving dinner. That was terrible.
And we never saw that again. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. When Idris came out of that cell,
Mm.
did you see the train breathe? Did you see it
Mm-hmm.
move?
Mm-hmm.
I had to rewind that a few times because it was a technique with the camera where he exhaled and everything came out and then went back
Mm-hmm.
in, and they
Mm.
only did it one time, and I was so thankful they only did it one time because it said a lot about who his character was and how big his character was in this story, and I loved that.
Oh,
Man, so good.
so good. So it's
Okay,
just so many little nuggets. Nuggets.
man,
I
if
mean,
you
what
had
kind of gift is it as an actor? Like, before your character is introduced, the first time we ever see your character, he is in irons, in a prison cell, which is itself on a train and surrounded by soldiers who are all armed. It's just like your character could not be set up to be any scarier than all of that, and then he walks out and lives up to it the rest of the movie.
Oh yes.
soldiers that earned the death that they got.
They did very much make that clear. Like, oh no, these are bad people. It's fine.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else? Any final thoughts? Man, it was so
It was
good.
just good. It was just good.
And
Everybody
yeah,
saw the train was the Bozeman.
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
that was a nice touch.
yeah.
There were lots of little things that they did, even with other people's names.
I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if Chadwick was supposed to be in this movie.
That's a good question.
I wonder if they had been talking to him about it because everybody else was in it.
Everybody was in it. Oh, you know he would have been in it. Who
All the
would he
rest
have?
of them was in it.
Who would he have been?
You know, it was it. Lakeith might not have been in this. Um,
Mm,
I'm just saying, if you think about type and casting, right? I'm
okay.
I'm thinking about who would have been um interchangeable, kind of same
Mm-hmm.
type.
Hmm.
So Lakeith, the guy from X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Maybe. Yeah. That one.
like I could see how those two. He's too old. He would have been too old to play. What's his name?
The young guy,
The young guy with the guns.
Beckworth.
Um, Beckworth. He would have been. He would have been too old. Um,
Yeah, I can see him doing the Bill Pickett character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are a couple of places, and shit. If it's Chadwick, they might have wrote something for him. There may have been
That's
a
also true.
character that they could have had that got written out, or you know what I mean, like because I think he wrote a lot of this for them. He knew who
Mm-hmm.
this cast was for a long time. He had been pulling people into this project well before he had it written or the money.
Yeah, that's one of those. I got some. I got something. I got something I'm working on. Just keep in touch.
Hmm.
And he did it,
Hmm.
and it was excellent. So we have our scores in. Yes, thank you, Tony. Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. 310 to Yuma. Love westerns.
But Russell Crowe is
I
so
just
douchey.
I know, but this movie.
He's so
these are
douchey.
romanticized cowboys, not real cowboys. That's the problem. It's just like real cowboy work was hard work,
But
which
Russell
he's not a
Crowe,
cowboy
he's a
in 310 to Yuma.
douche.
But he's a criminal in 310 to Yuma. He's the villain. He's the bad guy.
And you know,
well, he
honestly,
should have no problem playing it.
And he
and I
plays
loved
it.
him as an actor till I figured out what a douche he was in real life.
Mm.
And then now I can't watch his face.
I just, I don't know that somebody is terrible to production assistants, but I can just look at Russell Crowe and that man's terrible, terrible.
Oh, I've heard the story. He's an actual douche arama. He is the personification of douchiness, from
Not
what I
surprised.
understand.
I am not surprised.
Not at all.
I still want a movie. It's so good. I mean, I love others, but 310 to Yuma is so. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about it. All right, so this one is in the books.
Yay.
We'll be back, hopefully next week, to talk about something else. I have no idea what is
I
coming
have
out.
no idea.
What is? I have no idea. I know Shang-Chi is coming out.
Oh, we already seen that. I haven't seen Eternals yet.
Eternals.
I've not seen
There's
it.
a series that people have been telling me about that I need to try to watch. Wu-Tang.
I'm sorry, what?
It's on Netflix, I think. Wu-Tang.
That doesn't sound right. Hold on.
Oh,
I might be making up something. You know, I lie sometimes.
about the Wu-Tang Clan.
I'm not
That's the
sure
question.
what, who, what, but
What kind of show is this?
the Colored Americans, Wu-Tang, an American Saga
Okay, so it's
on Hulu.
okay.
It's 2 seasons of this. And I was told by many colored Americans that this is something I need to get down with.
Shamari says
Uh-huh.
the Wu-Tang show is dope.
I did not
All
know there was a
right.
Wu Tang show. Okay.
Yeah.
News.
Well, right now I'm watching Foundations.
Is that good?
I like it. I like it a lot.
What's that on?
It's on Apple TV.
It is on
Oh, I
Apple
will. I
TV.
will not have it.
Why is
And
that?
Huh? Oh no,
Why
I
is
just
that?
don't have. I just don't have Apple TV, and I'm not. Um,
yeah, it's a whole other streaming service.
I'm not doing another streaming service. I'm sick of
All
giving
right.
these people my money.
You
They
can get a
need to
And
give me
lot
my
of free
money.
Apple TV.
and
I don't know how long it is they're doing them right now, but you can get a lot.
yeah, that's how I got it because I bought a device and it gave me a year for free. I was like, thank you. I will
That
enjoy
works.
that year. And Star Trek Prodigy.
Oh, I'm enjoying that quite a lot actually.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good. It's good. I was
And
pleasantly
Why is that like
surprised.
that? Why is that like? I
That's
don't like
on
that.
Paramount Plus.
Ghosts and What We Do in the Shadows is
Oh my God! What we
What are
doing in
those?
the shadows?
Guillermo. Guillermo. I love What We Do in the Shadows. So maybe
Oh
we'll
my
talk
God! What
about
are
that.
we
Maybe we'll
doing?
talk about this season of What We Do in the Shadows because that would
Good.
be a fun one.
That will give me a reason to finish
You haven't
this. I
finished.
haven't finished. I haven't finished. I haven't
I'm not
finished.
gonna
No,
say.
I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna
I'm not
finish.
gonna say anything.
It's one of my favorite things. So I haven't finished this season.
It's good. All right. Well, oh, where we at? Where can we find you? What you got going on? What's happening in the
Hmm.
world?
It's weird. Okay, well, you can find me on Twitter at Waterbear Games and at Marcus Ross. Like my projects are all kind of nothing until there's something, so stay tuned. It's like I could tell you about stuff, but it's not real until somebody puts it out.
Okay, okay. Carla.
You can find me on the Instagram and the Facebooks and the Twitter machines. Usually at Carla Stillwell or Miss Stillwell. I'm just living a regular life right now, so it's nothing big going on. But if you really wanna hop on the Facebook and follow Carla Stillwell, I'm always entertaining and
Oh
joyful.
dear. Oh dear.
Mhm.
I will also
Yeah.
be at BGG Con in Dallas in a couple weeks. So
What?
yeah.
All right. Afroscapescurls.com on all of the things, the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls. Personally, the Audacious Sims. I have a new blog. I am doing the Decades Challenge with
Oh.
my Sims and have written a story that you can follow on the Audacious Sims blog. They
Hmm.
started off in 1890. Right now, we're probably about 1913, 1914. So the story starts with the first generation of people after slavery, and we're following this family
Hmm.
through history.
Hmm.
Nice. That's fun.
It is. I enjoy it. All right.
Yeah.
We will see you next week. Bye bye.